Well, here we go with new tier qualifications.
99% for Sapphire, the highest level here. A 10% boost to earnings, extra money to not only deliver, but deliver inside.
And they saw me go back and they said, "Is that your Mustang?" I was like,
Phil, what are you noticing on Walmart Spark? Folks, are you driving on Spark? Spark, I hear, is making a lot of money, so you might want to pay attention to this. I'll bring it up. What are we looking at?
Well, here we go with new tier qualifications for Walmart Spark, because now we have like silver, gold, and sapphire. For me, it's just like, oh my gosh, not another tier system. And because with this tier system, I'm thinking it's just like another round of DoorDash. But really, not only can I get like rewards, but I'm going to have to like qualify. So what do I have to do to qualify to get these rewards? So that's some of the things I have to think about. And I'm just like, ugh.
Phil is new to Walmart Spark. I've done Spark before as well, folks. Another tiered program for rewards. Well, for what though? What this is, if we bring this back up here. So if you do 20 trips a month, 30 trips, 60 trips, and you can see the other stats there respectively. On-time arrival at pickup, that's like the Walmart or the Sam's. Walmart Spark is a last mile delivery platform. We help you make money in different side hustles here. I've been doing this for 10 years, and Phil is in South Dallas, Texas. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So you're in the best spot to learn about the gig economy. Now, we've seen tiers from other platforms. Now, if we bring up one of the rewards here, one of the rewards is priority matching. So it is priority access to offers. So Phil, it looks like this is just priority. It's not like priority to higher paying offers, at least, which is what DoorDash and Uber Eats do.
Well, that's what I kind of got from it. It was like if you have like gold status, and you'll have that priority matching for that. So if you have like gold, you have everything above like the silver and the non-tier Spark drivers. Then if you have Sapphire, you're above the gold and the silver and the non-tier as well.
As a Spark driver, Phil, are you concerned about any of these metrics? Can you hit an on-time rate to the pickup? So folks, you got to be on time to that Walmart or Sam's or other participating pickup location. Traffic, I live further away. So if I accept it and I'm not there yet, am I going to be on time? And can you be on time for 95%? Completion rate, obviously if you accept it, you got to complete it. You can't cancel. Quantity found, if you're doing shops, that's 98% of items you have to find on those shops. You've done shops. You're doing Spark. What are you seeing in the field, Phil?
Well, for me, with the on-time rate, I think that's something I actually can handle. The customer rate, I can handle that. The quantity rate kind of has me like borderline, like, oh, can I do that? Because when I'm out there just actually shopping, there's a lot of times where they just don't have the item and you're actually forced to try to find like a product that's actually similar to it. And sometimes it's not always that easy. And there's a lot of times where I actually have to like contact the customer. And when I do contact the customer, sometimes they give me something they might actually want or something like that. I may take like a picture of it. And sometimes that helps, but a lot of times it doesn't.
Yeah, if they're looking for an item substitution. So Phil's saying like, I am shopping and sometimes I can find it, sometimes I can't. Well, let me ask you this. If you're watching, let me know where you're watching from. And if you do Spark, you need to find that thing 98% of the time. 99% for Sapphire, the highest level here. So here's the thing. Even if you find it and it's out of stock, and like Phil said, I communicate with the customer, sometimes they don't get back to you. Sometimes what happens if they don't have an acceptable, substitution and they say, forget it. Now, this is kind of similar to Pro Shopper on DoorDash, and actually like this video because we have news on DoorDash as well. Do you think it's a mistake, Phil, that some of these platforms it was DoorDash, Uber Eats, Flex has actually had a tiered kind of system, but I'm not sure if it goes into priority for routes though. And now Spark, we're seeing all these tiered. Do you like this thing or what?
Well, one of my first things is I'm just going like, it's just kind of my first reaction because I just know whether they have like all these nice rewards. Well, I'm not saying they're all really nice, but once they do have some rewards, I just know that there's going to be just something there that I'm going to have to qualify for. And if I had to qualify for it, it's just like, how am I going to maintain that? And I think one of the hardest things for me to actually probably maintain to actually get the gold or sapphire or anything like that will actually be like, maybe get to that 35 deliveries in a month, but really it's a 60 deliveries. Because I know a lot of times when I'm out there, a lot of times it just seems like every one of these are taking like an hour because I'm taking these bigger orders. And it usually says 45 minutes to, or might say 50 something minutes. But a lot of times when I'm actually shopping, I'm actually spending an extra 5, 10, or even 15 minutes on just one order. And just even here recently, I've had like a quantity items of like 70s or 80s. But even though I'm getting paid like $30-ish, maybe even 40, and there's been like even 50, that's pretty nice. It pays out the dollar per time ratio and usually the dollar per mile ratio as well. So I don't know what really argue with results when it comes to that.
Yeah, sometimes it's good. Sometimes you're faster than other times. A 45-minute trip might be longer because you're shopping because of this. But sometimes it can be super smooth. Sometimes you find the items. Yeah. Sometimes an item gets back to you immediately, or a customer gets back to you immediately with a substitution, which is great. Now, I did pull this up, and if you can like this video, I appreciate Phil providing these screenshots here. Here's the incentive multiplier. I just noticed this because, what I was showing you earlier, folks, these were the incentives. Now, look, frankly, the discounts and stuff like that, I'm not a huge fan of that. Some platforms give you just discounts on third-party partnerships, fine, but we're talking like money here. What's going to pay you more? Here's a priority matching at the bottom. But look at that incentive multiplier for Sapphire. And here it is. So it says, this reward lets you increase the value of eligible incentives for any successful completed trip while you keep that highest Sapphire tier. And it applies a 10% boost to earnings from eligible incentive programs while you're Sapphire. So Phil, you're a kind of hover between gold and platinum on DoorDash. You get a 10% boost on, again, eligible incentive programs. But then remember, you have to, let's say, keep the highest metrics. Yeah. You have to do 60 trips a month, which might take away from you doing, let's say, DoorDash and other apps.
That's what it's time. Yeah.
Would you go for Sapphire? Because you also have requirements for platinum on DoorDash.
It's pretty much just like, which one am I making more money with? So if I'm making more money with Spark, well, maybe I need to go ahead and shoot for those tiers right there. Or if I'm doing better on DoorDash, maybe I should go ahead and shoot for those tiers right there. It just depends. This is almost like pick your poison. But right now, Walmart Spark is it hasn't went away. It's been still my most consistent app, even for the past several months.
If you want to learn more about Spark and see Phil doing these actual Spark shifts in his marketplace near Dallas, check out his channel, link down below, Dasher Phil. I'm concerned about 60 trips a month on Spark because you said some of these take longer. So you'd have to do 2 a day. But a lot of these gig workers, you can let us know in the comments, folks, they're not driving that much. And then the big complaint, maybe again, you as the gig worker watching this, were upset about doing 100 deliveries in 30 days on DoorDash. And that's why they're kind of revising Dasher rewards. Speaking of, let's do this now. Let's kind of pivot here. I want to go over something from DoorDash here, this in-home delivery. So DoorDash will pay you extra money to not only deliver, but deliver inside, in-home delivery. Here's a screenshot of what it looks like. You don't have to set it up. This is typically a grocery only as of now. So Phil, and then I'll give my take on this. Would you get an extra $1 to $3 is what we've seen. Would you take an extra $1 to $3 to literally take those extra steps, but then you're going into someone's house?
Me personally, yeah, I would just go ahead and do it. I know there's actually some even elderly people that's actually just in my area that I was just like, man, I just want to kind of do that and help them out anyways. So even that little extra $1, $2, $3, yeah, I think it's a pretty good little incentive. I know it's nothing like huge and spectacular of just maybe a possible just buck, but I'm just like, how much can we actually expect, for DoorDash to kind of shell out that little bit extra money? Because it's only going to take like what, an extra 30 seconds to a minute just for a few extra feet.
Exactly. Oh, but what's so fascinating, and I don't really mind either way, folks. So let me know in the comments if you would go those extra feet for, like Phil said, it's going to take like 30 seconds to a minute. I mean, you're going in there, you're just, instead of here, you're delivering it inside. And that is a use case. Again, here in Pittsburgh, and I've done some deliveries inside a home for elderly customers on DoorDash. I've done a handful. I've been doing gig work for 10 years, and, someone just needs help because they have limited mobility. Now, it won't really be a surprise because now you're seeing it on the offer screen like this, so you know what to expect. This does not affect your acceptance rate at the time of filming this. If you decline these, this is a new feature. And you can change your mind after the fact. If you pick it up and you get there and you're not feeling it, you can go through the workflow to let DoorDash know, I don't want to do that, and you can deliver per usual. I mean, would I do this? I mean, if I saw this for some reason, I'd do it, but I feel like I almost like spur of the moment scenarios because I can see the customer, I can see they're elderly, and they're like, hey, can you help me out? I can't lift this. If I see like this on the offer card, you know what this makes me think of? And actually, let me know if you do this, Phil. Do you do cash on delivery? Because when I see you're going to get like cash, or I forget the verbiage, I feel kind of the same way. I'm fine, but I'm a little like, okay. Do you do cash on delivery?
That's the one thing I've never done is the cash on delivery because I just don't want to just hold the cash.
I know. What do you think? Here's a hot take. Maybe take a second to think about this. Maybe I'll give my take first. What is a higher risk delivery? Is it in-home delivery or is it cash on delivery? So take a second there. Let me kind of give you my take on that, folks. I think the overwhelming majority of, these assignments in gig work are completely safe. And I've done this in multiple marketplaces. I've driven overnights. I've driven mornings, afternoons, every time in every app you can think of. So consider subscribing here. I'd love to help you out more. Having said that, you always want to look out for yourself. Safety is always number one. I feel like cash on delivery might be a little bit more responsibility. I don't know if I'd even go deeper and say pressure, because I don't think there's going to be too much overt pressure, but you're handling cash. Now, in-home delivery is another beast because you're walking. This is a tightrope, which one, you might want to do over the other. Now, cash on delivery, typically you can opt in. I'm trying to remember if there's a toggle in preferences. You could turn off cash on delivery. I think there is in preferences. So they're very close. Let's kind of come back here to Phil, giving you a chance. What are you thinking there, Phil?
Well, I'm pretty much thinking about it just like with that cash on delivery. I'm just like, I'm really skeptic because what if I do go up to some person or somebody, they might actually see that little bit extra cash that I do have, and maybe I've done a few other ones, or maybe I got some extra tip or something, and I just don't want them just to be like, want to just take that advantage. Because there's actually been a time when I was actually had to go like deep into Dallas before. When I went and made that delivery and they saw me go back and they said, "Is that your Mustang?" I was like, "Oh, but I was like, "Yep, have a good day."
You're like,
so I just don't want them to see what I actually have. So that's the one thing I think about the cash delivery. But when it goes to well, now I'm thinking about the opposite. What if it was the kind of the same thing? What if I had to like go inside the home in that at that same place? So that would be different as well.
Yeah.
But I'd actually be able to see where I'm actually going. I'm going to South Dallas. Not all Dallas is bad, but
Oh, certainly.
I would be able to see where I'm kind of going to.
Exactly. Same thing on cash on delivery, folks. So you'll see the offer card. We'll bring it up here again. You can see where you're going. You know your marketplace. And obviously, we always want to be cognizant and aware of safety, regardless of where you're going here. Yeah, to your point about the comment on your vehicle, I remember I was delivering in San Diego. I was out there for a few years. And I commented on someone's home because in San Diego, some of these houses are ridiculous. I mean, we're talking like Instagram level insane. And all I said, I was like, oh, your home was like really nice, or like your home looks really nice. And the customer looked at me like I was like casing their house or something. I was like, I'm just commenting that your house is nice. They looked at me like, okay. I'm like, okay, well, I'm from Pittsburgh. And I didn't say that, obviously. I just was, I was on my way. Yeah, I think these are both interesting offers here. It's an interesting thing because, DoorDash is giving you more options to earn, which I love. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Maybe let us know in the comments if frankly, if you think this is a good idea, because like both of us, like Phil and I have said, there's been scenarios where someone's been elderly, senior, disability. Well, this has helped them out. And now it is backed by DoorDash. Like they know you're going to be doing this. There's a safe dash feature. So if they see a dash is kind of taking longer than it should, or if it's something's going wrong, there's automatic safety measures in place there. So any closing thoughts, Phil, about either this Spark tiered system, maybe you're going to do more, maybe you're going to do less, or this in-home delivery?
Yeah, when I'm thinking about like the Spark tier system, when or if this actually happens here in the Dallas area, I'm just going to just play it by just kind of seeing and gauging where am I at in this tier system? Where did it drop me at? Am I even like silver right now? Am I close to silver? Is my other metrics really close? From the quantity rate, from the completion rate, the on-time arrival, where am I at? And maybe all I have to do is just get my trips up. And if I'm making really good money still, when I'm still trying to raise my rating up, this Sapphire might actually be an actually decent perk, especially if I can get to that maybe incentive multiplier, which is like, I know it's just like only like 10%, but every little bit helps. But the one thing about that is just that being eligible. So I know like a lot of these incentives, I can get like X amount of money on like incentives, like maybe an extra $17 if you get 3 trips or 4 trips. But I don't really see a whole lot of those incentives where I'm actually going to. It might be something that's going to take me a little bit further away. So I don't actually complete a lot of those incentive trips. So that extra 10% may not even matter much to me. My main thing is just want to see the really good orders.
I know. Well, and I appreciate you sharing that. It makes me think of all these little incentives, and Spark's incentive structure alone is something I've commented on. Hey, it's from 2 to 5, but only from store 3387, and promo orders don't count, and it's for shopping only. I mean, Spark's bonuses are interesting. And so, yeah, you said like, hey, do I want to juggle another program? Spark Pay can be pretty good. It's getting more popular. And then, yeah, if I'm doing more Spark, because I know you are, I can get a 10% boost. It makes me think of like Uber's Advantage mode. Uber's Advantage mode is like a plus 5%. And like at the end of the day, are we really making more money? It's really interesting to think about. Phil, thanks for sharing that today.
Thank you very much for having me.
As always, absolutely. That's Phil with Dasher Phil. Check out his channel down below. And let me know if you try this stuff. Spark is hot right now. DoorDash is always hot. It's super popular. Are these programs, are they helping? Are they hurting? Is it neutral? And if it's not coming to your marketplace, do you think it's going to come to your city?